The NASCAR Xfinity Series race has officially concluded from the Indianapolis Road Course, and we see some interesting tire strategy, a lot of long green flag runs, another lighting delay, and Ty Gibbs picking up his first Xfinity Series victory of 2023. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Xfinity Series race on the Indianapolis Road Course, the Pennzoil 150. We had quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So for the green flag drop in today's race, Brennan Poole, Jeremy Clements, Brad Perez, Blaine Perkins, and Joe Graf Jr. would all have to go to the rear. The first four for unapproved adjustments, and Joe Graf Jr. for missing driver introductions. So at the start of the race, they had A.J. Allmendinger lead the field from the inside with Ty Gibbs on the outside, and A.J. Allmendinger got a really strong run and was able to clear for the race lead. Then on lap 2, there was a little bit of contact between Sam Mayer and Jeff Burton. They made contact, and Press Spartans also got in the grass as well, but they were able to keep it going. Inevitably, though, Ty Gibbs had a faster car than A.J. Allmendinger, is able to pass A.J. Allmendinger for the lead on lap 3, handing the lead to Ty Gibbs. Then there was some damage on Austin Hill's car from 4th position, was able to keep going. And then we started seeing some rainfall come into play, but the caution would not come out for rain. The first caution came out lap number 8, for lightning. There have been some storms brewing during the IndyCar race earlier today, and they were headed toward the racetrack, and while it happened, the race would get delayed for about 35 to 40 minutes. Now, there actually weren't a little bit of lightning delay. The lightning strike hit about 3 or 4 minutes prior, but they decided to get the race back going because of darkness that was impeding on the racetrack, and they were all but were required to put rain tires on. But then, during the caution, because they ran around under the yellow, A.J. Allmendinger, Sam Mayer, Chandler Smith, Parker Resloff, Kyle Weatherman, and Blaine Perkins all came down the road to put slick tires on. So because it was a rain decision to go back racing, they would have single file restart. So Ty Gibbs will lead the field back to green with Cole Custer behind him in second. And A.J. Allmendinger would restart basically about 21st or 22nd restart, 21 seconds back. Then on the restart, Washington spun after entering turn 7 after contact with Connor Mosack. Don't have no idea what Connor Mosack was doing there, but got into Ross Chastain. And then we would basically see, a few laps later, we see Ty Gibbs come down pit road, Cole Custer came down pit road, along with Brett Moffitt, Ryan Sieg. Then the next lap, we saw John Hunter Nemechek, Austin Hill, Miguel Pluto. They came down pit road. And the next lap, Sheldon Creed, Jeremy Clements, they came down pit road. And the next lap, Riley Herbst, he came down pit road. And then with 2 laps to go in the stage, A.J. Allmendinger, who was running 5 to 6 second lap faster times on the slick tires, was able to pass Daniel Hemrick for the lead. And he would continue to dominate, and he would win stage number 1. Then a few laps later, Daniel Hemrick, Parker Kligerman, Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry all come down the road to put slick tires on. Josh Berry left a wrench in the car, but he stalled it leaving, and they were able to get it out before, so he didn't get a penalty. Then the next lap, Parker Kligerman, he came down pit road with a flat left front tire due to Valsin being knocked off. They would unfortunately go a lap down because of that. Also, Sammy Siffy had a ton of damage as well. The race would stay green, and then the next lap, trouble strike for Brad Perez, who basically had a brake issue, may have had something else that broke on the car, basically stopped up going into basically the access right, I think at turn 11 or turn 12, and hit the outside, not hit the outside, well, basically was stopped on the racetrack, bringing the caution out. Then we saw a little strategy for guys like Sam Mayer, Cole Custer, Brett Moffitt, Ryan Sieg, Justin Allgaier would all stay out while the wrestlers came down the road, and Ty Gibbs had to back up to check his lugs, but was able to still get in a pretty decent position. And then NASCAR made the decision, because the track was too dry, to go ahead and do double file restart. So Sam Mayer lead the field from the inside with Cole Custer on the outside, and Sam Mayer got a really strong restart and was able to clear for the race lead. Then A.J. Allmendinger took about 3 laps to get up there, but he got by Sam Mayer and was able to pass him for the race lead. Then there was some contact a few laps later between Cole Custer and Justin Allgaier. It looked like Justin Allgaier went up the track. Cole Custer spun in the grass and unfortunately had contact with Allgaier. Basically, the race would stay green. Then we see a little strategy where guys like Justin Allgaier, Miguel Pluto, Brett Moffitt, Cole Custer, they came down the road. Then a few laps later, we saw John Hunter Nemechek, Daniel Hemrick come down, actually make contact. And then we also see Sam Mayer come down the road with 23 laps to go, along with Chandler Smith, John Hunter Nemechek, and Daniel Hemrick. And John Hunter Nemechek would also get a speeding penalty on pit road. Then Riley Herbst, he came down pit road, but he got a speeding penalty. And then the next lap on lap 43, A.J. Allmendinger would pit from the race lead with Ty Gibbs coming in at the same time as well. Unfortunately, Ty Gibbs had a way better pit stop than A.J. Allmendinger, and he was able to get the race lead from, so Ty Gibbs would have the race lead. And then Andre Castro would have an issue and pull off the racetrack, and he would actually bring the caution out with 19 laps to go. Now, Sheldon Creed, he actually had to come down pit road during that yellow, but was penalized because he came to pit road when it was actually closed, and that was for the caution for Andre Castro, but this would affect Sheldon Creed. So at this point, you would have A.J. Allmendinger, who would assume, basically would lose the race lead, and Ty Gibbs would assume control. So then on the restart, Ty Gibbs lead the field from the inside, which A.J. Allmendinger on the outside, and we saw a lot of chaos on the restart. Brandon Jones got spun for 12 positions, able to keep going. Then you had contact from Connor Mosek, got into Daniel Hemmer, and Daniel Hemmer got a ton of damage. He actually would have to come down road along with his teammate Chandler Smith and Sammy Smith as well. But at this point, Ty Gibbs had the race lead. Meanwhile, there's a lot of chaos happening behind him with 6 laps to go. You had John Nemechek, who spun from 8th position after contact from Kaz Grall, who actually went off the racetrack from 6th position, went back up, and John Hurt got contacted from that. Then with 2 laps to go in this race, Sam Mayer got a really strong run at A.J. Allmendinger, is able to pass Allmendinger for 2nd position. But Ty Gibbs had a pretty big mass lead as it came to the white flag, at an 8-second lead on Sam Mayer at the time. They would have nothing for him, and coming out the final corner, Ty Gibbs had an 8-second lead and picks up his first Xfinity Series victory of 2023 in pretty dominating fashion. Congratulations to Ty Gibbs. I think Ty Gibbs absolutely had the fastest car today. I know he was behind Allmendinger a lot of the day, but he led the most laps, like 27 or 28 laps. He was kind of behind because of strategy early in this race where they were on rain tires, while guys like Allmendinger were on slick tires, and they were going to be pretty far back. Ty Gibbs, for sure, in my opinion, had the best car, so the best car definitely won this race for sure. Congratulations to Ty Gibbs. Hopefully this could be some good momentum and some good confidence going into tomorrow's NASCAR Cup Series race at the Indy Road Course. He looked pretty good in the Cup Series practice as well early today. So nonetheless, congratulations to Ty Gibbs on picking up his first Xfinity Series victory. I thought he'd win a couple more Xfinity races by this point, so good to see him finally get that first Xfinity Series victory of 2023. So now we're going to take a look at the race results, and I'll give you my score of today's race. So Ty Gibbs picks up the victory. Sam Mayer finished second. He had a really good day, ran top 3 and top 4. He wasn't as good as Allmendinger and Ty Gibbs throughout the day, but he got by Allmendinger because he had damage on the right front of that car. But he does finish second. Great run for Sam Mayer in second place. A.J. Allmendinger finishes third. Allmendinger had the second best car. I don't think he really had anything for Ty Gibbs, unfortunately. Yes, he led a lot of laps. Once Ty Gibbs got by him, he had nothing for it. Unfortunately, his team cost him on pit road as well. Cost him a shot at a very good run, but he still finishes third. Very solid run for Allmendinger, but they always want to win, so it's kind of a disappointment for Allmendinger. He didn't win this race. Austin Hill finishes fourth. Very solid run for him. I think continues a streak of finishing in top 10 5 races in a row. So good run for Austin Hill, who likely will extend his regular season points lead. He finishes in fourth. Justin Allgaier finishes fifth. Very solid run for him. Didn't have the fastest car, but had a top 5 car today. Gets a very solid top 5 finish. Cole Custer finishes sixth. Pretty decent run for him. He was complaining, I think, having some issues and everything in the race. So good, solid comeback for him to finish in sixth. Parker Kligerman finishes seventh. Really a fantastic comeback for him. I think Parker was someone I thought was maybe going to contend for the win today. Unfortunately, their issues on the road cost him a shot, but they did recover, and a very nice recovery at that, and finished at seventh. Very solid recovery for Parker Kligerman in seventh place. Sheldon Creed finished his day. Solid recovery for them. Unfortunately, he went down pit road, like I said, when he basically was close. Really good recovery to finish in 8th place. Kaz Grall finished 9th. They were spinning early in the race, like 28 or 29 laps to go. So great recovery for him in 9th place. And Brad Moffitt finished 10th. Very solid run for that team. Alex Abey finished 11th. Good run for him from the Emerald Gates Motorsports team. Ran top 15 a lot of day. So good run for him in 11th. Riley Hurts finished 12th. He had that speeding penalty early, so decent recovery for him in 12th place. John Nemechek finishes 13th. John Hunter had a pretty good race going. Had issues in the middle. Seems like his road course issues have come into play, but he does finish in the top 15, so it's really not the end of the world for him. Josh Berry finishes 14th. Was good in the beginning, kind of fell back in the middle portion, and also had a lockup near the end. He finishes 14th. Sage Karam finishes 15th. Decent run for him. Sage Karam basically had a top 20 car points. That was one of the better runs we've seen from the Alpha Prime Racing Group. Thought Sage might have a decent run today, so good to see him finish in the top 15. Jeff Byrne finishes in 16th. Parker Resnick was up front in the early portion of the race. Kind of fell back in the middle because they were complaining about some issues, I think, in the rear lateral of the car. He finished 17th. Josh Liggett finished 18th. Decent top 20 run for that team. Jeremy Clements finishes in 19th. And Kyle Weatherman finished 20th. Solid run for the JD Motorsports driver in 20th place. Brandon Jones finished 21st. Unfortunately, he got spun out with about 17 or 18 laps to go and never recovered from that. Again, he's pretty much in a must-win situation at this point for the final 4 races. Again, he's not been the greatest at road courses, and sadly, today did not go well for him. Miguel Pluto finished 22nd, never really was a factor. I think he had some issues that would cost him a shot. He was actually in the top 15 near the end, but he never really was a factor or a contender. Anthony Alfredo finished 23rd. Preston Partis was up front early. He finished 24th. They kind of fell back, unfortunately. Brendan Poole finished 25th. Connor Mosack finished 26th. He was a wrecking ball throughout the whole entire race. Got into contact with multiple different drivers and cost other drivers good shots at runs. He finished 26th. Daniel Hemrick finished 27th, ran top 10 a lot of day, but unfortunately got that damage from Connor Mosack and never recovered from it. Sammy Smith finished 20th. He was just overall really disappointing this weekend. Was not fast in practice, struggled throughout the race, had that contact early and never recovered. He finished 28th. Ryan Ellis finished 29th. Kyle Seek finishes in 30th. Blaine Perkins finished 31st. Ryan Seek, who had a major issue near the end of the race, I think had a broken track bar, finishes 32nd. Josh Williams finished 33rd. He had some sort of issues with his oil tank or something. Not a good day for him. Chandler Smith finishes in 34th. He got some damage throughout the race and never recovered. He's not been the greatest at road course, unfortunately, and it was disappointing for him. He wanted to finish better. Not a great day for him in 34th place. Joe Graf Jr. finishes 35th. Andre Castro, after crashing out or falling out of the race, he finished 36th. Ross Jacino, I thought might run a little better today, just had some sort of track bar issue. He finishes 37th. And finishing last in 38th place is Brad Perez. So now, let's talk about the overall race as a whole, and I'll give you my score of today's race. Honestly, this race was okay in my opinion. I thought the early portion of this race was really, really good, especially when Allmendinger and Ty Gibbs are battling for those first 5 or 6 laps. I thought that was probably the most entertaining portion of this race. And I will say not having the sage yells really made this race a little more intriguing, especially when you had the drivers coming in on the rain tires and the slick tires. It definitely changed things up. But at times, it definitely did get strung out. You had sometimes insane leads, and I know the tires really played a role in that, but you had sometimes really insane leads. I think at one point, you had Ty Gibbs, who's back 15 seconds in 3rd place, and he was definitely faster than Allmendinger, but there were points where the lead was really, really strung out, so it kind of got a little boring at times. Then it got really good in the later portions when you had the restart late, but it never was the most exciting race overall. So for that, while the beginning was good, I thought the ending was a little bit boring. I'm going to give today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race overall, I'll give this race overall a 6.5 actually, I'll give this race a 6.2 out of 10. Like I said, there was good points in this race, but unfortunately was not the most exciting race overall. The score is 6.2 out of 10. So, that is good for today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race review from the Indianapolis Road Course. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, let's go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go jump over that and comment your thoughts below on today's race. What are your thoughts on today's race? Let me know below. Let me know your score in the comments below. And congratulate Ty Gibbs on picking up the victory at the Indianapolis Road Course. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we have the NASCAR Cup Series race review from the Indianapolis Road Course on the channel. Then on Monday, we have a NASCAR news video on the channel, followed by the Xfinity Series race fix video for Watkins Glen. Then on Tuesday, I'm going to have a video talking about Hailie Deegan and her future, where I think she could go in 2024. And if any major NASCAR news breaks, I'll break on Tuesday as well. Then on Wednesday, I'll have a NASCAR news video on the channel. We'll also have a lot of other content dropping on the channel here as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.